pawns, man, in the game, they get capped quick. They be out the game early.
Unless they some smart-ass pawns.
This is not meth.
I know that scene.
I do. We know that scene. We will talk about that scene. Welcome back to the TV Chronicles, episode 3. If we haven't been canceled yet, we're doing some shows that are one show that could definitely get us kicked off the air if we say the wrong thing. But we're here. It's only us 3 again. The video store is run by Mike and Nazario. Yet
Blockbuster went out of business for a reason.
They're not here. That's why the show's not out of business. Mike had to work. Totally understand. Nazario dropped out last time. We talked about that. But us 3, staying strong. 3 episodes. Basically, you don't know this, but we've recorded back-to-back weeks right now. Like we're in this. Like we're doing work over here. So hope you're enjoying it. Hope you're watching along. It's a lot of fun. We're talking about 2 season finales. Two episodes have ended. So next week we will continue Wire season 1, and we will start season 2 of Oz and Breaking Bad. Matt, how are you, and how was your viewing experience this week?
Doing good. You know, after the last episode that we filmed, I pretty much went to sleep and then woke up the next morning and just jumped right into them. That's become my weekend ritual, is watching all 3 of these shows, and it's been really fun. So I love it.
I know your name. I know I'm going to say it, Mark. I couldn't think of it for a second. Just like Nazario couldn't think of answers. How are you doing, and how was your viewing experience?
I can't complain. You see what Matt did, going to sleep and, just watching it. I'm pretty sure, I just kind of did the work, immediately once we jumped off call. I did one show immediately because I wanted to just get through it really quick. But yeah, you know what? I'm always the Oz hater here. I think, the Oz have a good week this week.
Well, that's good. Took the 6, 7, and 8 to get there, but I will give you that. I will say, like, I know me and Matt, for example, I know Mark's newer to the community, but we've done movies for so long in this community. It's like I feel like rejuvenated to do something that's not movie related. So it's like I'm itching to watch the next episodes on TV because, like, and especially Oz. Again, I've said this, it's been a long time, and I've never seen The Wire, so it's like something you've heard great things your entire life, watch it about it, but you just don't know how good it is until you actually watch it. So, and I'm so happy I don't have no spoilers. There is a spoiler for this week's Wire, which we are talking about first. I've heard the quote. I just didn't know it was from this. So,
it's in the culture now.
yeah. So I did not know that, and then I heard him like, oh. I'm also a sicko at this point. I've actually watched some people react to moments from The Wire, that haven't seen it. Like, there's some YouTube channels out there that live react to watch the whole episode. And I'm just like, their reactions are priceless when things happen. But we're gonna get into The Wire. Again, as newbie, last week I apologize to the masses. Normally I take detailed notes on everything because I just jot. If you see my notes, it's literally bullet points. I'm just like, this is just to keep me on pace to know where we're going. Episode 6, I didn't write down the title for this. So does anyone know what the title was?
It is The Wire, the titular episode.
Oh, it is The Wire. It's called The Wire. You're right. Michael B. Jordan's character, don't know his name. He's a parent. He's got 6 kids that he's got to take care of. He's holding down the household for everybody. That was interesting to see. And then we found out that kill count that we were curious about if he added, we found him. We found out what happened to Omar's boy. Pretty brutal too, just laying dead, just eyes like. I wish I knew who this was about, but somebody put I'm reasonable. Somebody says in the episode I'm reasonable, and I put reasonable my ass. I think it was like the
Rawls. This is Rawls.
Rawls. I think it's Rawls what he says, but yes,
He's a
it
reasonable
is
guy.
reasonable my ass because Jimmy's going back to night work. So he's basically told him like, yeah, murder cases, like we're doing the rotation, so get ready. You're going back to night shift. I'm pretty reasonable. Yeah, go fuck yourself. Well, we learned that the wire only works if they can identify who is on the phones. Basically, like they have to do like this: run up the stairs, get on top of the roof, and like make sure if there's a call coming in, which happens a couple times in these 3 episodes. Can't listen to phone. Jimmy identifies the body. Don't know why I put that off the top of my head. Jimmy identifies.
Jimmy shows up at the scene and identifies that it's Brandon, and knows that they need to go let Omar know.
Yes. Which there was a moment that happens, which will come in later, but I messaged Mark and went, "What the fuck?" And then I deleted it because I was like, "I'll just talk to him on the episode. I won't talk to him now." But I was panicking on the inside. And then and I think it's one thing that we kind of figure out is that Michael B. Jordan's character. What's his name? I'm terrible at this. I just know him as little Michael B. Jordan. Do we have a name?
Wallace.
Wallace. Okay. Wallace is affected by this fucking death because he ratted him out. He's definitely dealing with the consequences of that, is what I'm seeing. D'Angelo calls Stringer, so now they know his numbers. So they're starting to put numbers to the people. They're able to like get conclusions and figure out who is who. So that's kind of interesting where I was seeing Preston. Oh, yeah. That slimy ass fucking lawyer. Preston has a court case and he's like, how's he afford you? We're doing it for the youth. Like this and they put him on and then there's that cool scene between oh gosh, dumbass cop Prez and
you're talking Freeman.
Where they're non-permanent and permanent. Like he's like telling him, is like trying to think. He's like, "What do you mean?" Well, they didn't say anything. He's like, "Well, let me tell you what he really did say." Oh, yeah. So it's kind of an interesting like how to set up. Ellis and Herc beat the shit out of Preston because they're on the hunt for him. He moves and they're
just keeps getting out. They just don't know how to deal with it.
The funny thing is, he keeps getting out, but they don't check any higher up. Never. They just go through him and punch him in the face. That dude gets out of the car and blasts him, and he's like, "Check my back pocket." House monitoring, yeah. Give me a ride
to his grandma's, yeah.
All right. Some of the best thing ever because they was like, "You won't believe who's out." Who? Preston. That motherfucker. Not again. Like, I was dying on that one. I think the biggest problem of this thing is that Rawls reads the reports and wants to issue the warrants when basically trying to bring down the wire operation. Yeah, I'm so nice on this one. Fat old partner not working and drinking on job, basically. He has
given 2 choices.
Two choices. You either get him on the fucking roof and go to the hospital. He's like, good luck on your cases at least. So I guess he's just gone. Like, is he going to the...
I think it's go into like a program or something like that. Try to clean up.
Yeah, but as soon as his buddy leaves, he's like, I can't sit here and read newspapers and eat drink coffee. I'm gonna go drink the bottle.
And he won't trip down the stairs, and break his arm to get retirement. He can't do that either.
Yeah. Jimmy and the team plans to go to Daniels about the reports. They plan to like go over, like have somebody fight for him. And it kind of involves like a altercation between Jimmy and Daniels. Like basically, lower tiers, like the only thing like he's really got on me is like leadership, like ranking, but he can't really. If he disagrees, he just can't do it. Which, one of the dumbest moments of this episode is whoever the fuck is on the top of the roof.
Yeah.
Avon shows up to the pit.
Avon, Stringer.
Avon,
They're all
the
there.
entire gang just pissing, and the dude's
Santangelo had to take a piss.
and he's pissing for 4 minutes. That dude is in the pit for way longer than you think he should be there.
You hold the bottle while you got the binoculars in the other hand.
Avon might be the dumbest like lead guy ever. They can't get a photograph. This dude walked in there 12 noon, just sun shining, birds chirping, and he's just in the pit. I was just like,
he's just really lucky that's how he's gotten this far.
And I was like, I was watching. I was like, okay, when do they cut to the camera? Like, when are they going to take it? And then he gets in the car and the fucking guy comes back zipping up his fly. I'm like, convenient fucker.
Missed him by that much.
Then we get that scene with Lieutenant Daniel sitting there with Rawls and goes, we need you to not do this. He'll blow up the whole operation, blah, blah. He's like, I'm asking for a favor. Well, in that case, I'm going through with the warrants. Like, go fuck yourself. And then, this is the part. Omar and Jimmy, what the fuck? When I saw him get out of the car and like sit down, now was that teased at any point? Did I miss something? Did I just not pay attention? Or is that the first time Jimmy and Omar are together?
No, they've been together before in a past episode. They met up and they talked about it.
Yeah, it's whenever they tailed him. They tailed Omar the first time. He led him to that cemetery. And he told him, like, hey, Stringer.
He told him about the one shooting. And
Avon are out to get you. And that's also when they told him that the third guy was with them was dead.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to say that was
you're 100% right. I literally was mind blown. I was like, why are they in that? But then we'll figure out more shit about it. And then basically ends with Rawls putting a tap on Jimmy. He gets that one detective to basically... anytime he's drinking, anytime he's behind the wheel, like let him know. So that sucks. I think this episode had a lot in it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if there was like mind-blowing moments. Like I don't think there was like holy shit because it does come later. The holy shit moments, like it doesn't happen right now, it happens but there's some cool moments. There's some really good character laying work down, and I think you realize how big of a prick fucking Rollins really is. Rawls is he's a fucking asshole. Warriors takes on The Wire, episode 6.
This one definitely had some good moments. I thought it was really cool getting to see Wallace's home life and seeing him taking care of all those kids, which is amazing. I can't imagine taking care of all those kids, and he's doing it 15, 16 years old, something like that. That's crazy. And of course, I think probably the best scene of this whole episode was McNulty, Father of the Year, with his kids taking Omar for a ride to go see Brandon's body, and just Omar's
bringing bubbles to the soccer match, picking up Omar after.
You want to tell you, hey Jimmy, you want to know why you don't have custody of your children? I can give you a lot of examples. And there's another one.
Oh, we got another one coming up. Yeah, that's
episode 8. We'll talk about it. He is the biggest idiot. He should not have children at all. I won't see my kids. That would be a terrible idea if you had your kids any more than you do right now.
Yeah, but Omar, you can just see how much he really loved Brandon, and it's just the guttural scream that they could hear from 2 floors up. It's just you know trouble's coming now. Now they've made a major enemy out of Omar, so that's going to be interesting going forward.
And I think it kind of sealed the deal. I like bad guys, but maybe Omar's not as bad as he's he's Batman. He's kind of doing for himself, but he's also just taking out the problems. So that's
he's more Punisher.
Yeah, that would be a better. Mark, you're a super fan of The Wire, so how'd episode 6 treat you?
Oh yeah, no, this was Yeah, it was great. I mean, there's a lot of just like really nice moments in this. Honestly, like looking back now, because I've mentioned a couple times, I kind of stopped midway, and this is about where I stopped. And I rewatch it now and thinking, why would I stop here? This is
I'm
stupid.
really curious too because I was like,
Like,
oh.
like I just must have. Is it a bad day or whatever? Because like all this like back office raw stuff is just incredible. It also just kind of feels like, oh yeah, this is probably why it's just really hard to make a case on anybody because every higher up is just kind of ready to jump on just, oh, will this kind of help like cover my ass? All right, cool, we're gonna do that. Because like Rawls doesn't really give a shit about anything, he just kind of wants to cover his ass on the cases. And it gets to what is a really awesome moment from Daniels there at the end where you especially like coming from where he was earlier, where you kind of felt like Daniels just kind of is going to be the company man here, but he's in office talking shit to both Rawls and Burrell, who both majorly outrank him, which I thought was just such a cool scene. It's kind of the reason why I love Daniels as much as I do. And then yeah, also Omar stuff. I mean, I've kind of said it last episode. Like I don't like whether Omar's a good or a bad guy. He's just kind of there. Like I don't really know a better way to just say like is
He's like
Omar
a
good
force
or
of
bad.
nature.
Yeah, like he just kind of exists, and whoever can help him at that particular time, that's who he's going to be with. And like it could be the cops, it could be the criminals. Like it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I just overall like, and it's this episode that Rawls and um Rawls and Daniel sit in the room with the like head guy, or is that
Yeah,
next
I think that was
Yeah,
this
this
episode. That's
because
when he was trying to get him to close the case. Yeah.
he goes to his major first, that really old guy, and then he goes to try to get Rawls to do it. And when Rawls doesn't do it, he goes to Burrell, and they are in the room, all three of them at the end.
Yeah, I think it's like interesting where he's like all where they're like, if he does this now and he pulls the trigger and it's gone, then everything's gone. So he basically speaks up for him, which has later consequences later down the line. But overall, I think this was just a great like move forward with all characters and like makes you like care about them more. So I thought that was really interesting. Anything else on episode 6 before? I guess is that kill count going to be is that one already accounted for? Or are you adding that?
I put it as here because it was a confirmed, so I took it off the episode 5 and put it on episode 6.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's a thing. I think like basically anybody in the police force that helps with the wiring group is like in those favorite character marks right now. I like it. I feel really bad for D'Angelo because like him and Wallace, like they're just in it to be in. Like they have really no choice. Like at this point to be in it. What is this the one where we see him doing the math problem, or is it the next episode he does the math?
I think it's the next one.
Okay, because I thought that was a really interesting. Like that's a really funny moment. Like really funny, but kind of sad moment. But anything else on episode 6 before we move to episode 7?
I think we move on.
Okay. So I put this. I said Perez. This is 2020. So this is before this term was like appropriate. Perez has autism. Like there's no question of like he would be diagnosed 100%. Loves his number, does all of it. Like that's a clear that just hasn't been of the norm to be cast there. This is one of those moments that I really thought Rawls giving the other detective ultimatum. Basically going through those red files, like you see all these murder cases, like none of them are closed. So close one of them or give me something on Jimmy. Like basically like just tells him. And you kind of think like good thing like Jimmy's got like a guy to back him because it's like that's a pretty easy like thing to just do. But he rides with them. Then we have that awkward exchange between the judge, Jimmy, and that the redhead girl, where he just dunking on the judge, just dunking on the entire episode. And then basically he'd like to give her a fuck. What the fuck? Just like one of those lines.
He wanted to throw a fuck.
Throw a fuck. I wanted like to throw a fuck into that one.
Yeah, Jimmy, stay quiet there.
And then basically Jimmy's like judging him have a moment or whatever, and basically says, "Why didn't you call me?" And he's like, "Well," he's like, "What? Did you lose my trust over that one time?" He's like, "Well, it didn't fucking help." So he looks like he's got the judge back on his side, which we find out later he does. This one is basically, I would like, this is a mixture between like mainly gang stuff, but this is also like Bubbles and his friend boy just like high a lot, stealing some shit, doing like the high things. But
that was also the thing that happened. Like, as it didn't. What's his name? His buddy got arrested, and
they stole those pipes, right? They stole the pipes in the last episode.
They stole the pipes, and then
got high, and he went outside while he was high.
Yeah.
Call it possession.
Yeah. So then, yes, that makes sense because I put what's the girl cop name?
Kima.
Kima.
Yeah, she gets his bottles. And he's like, when the attorney is like listing every offense, you need that guy.
Sure?
Yeah, I need that guy. All right, well, he has to plead guilty. He's like, I get out now? Yeah. No jail time? No. All right. Like, just goes.
And that kind of led us towards the cool scene at the meeting with that was the subject, right? Yeah, when they got Waylon comes up there and kind of gives his little spiel and stuff.
Yeah, I have Bubble and group. They go to the drug rehab place. They start raising the like who gets like the chip and who goes how. He goes up and goes, "We literally got a hideout this morning." What are you talking about?
Well, if you listen closely to that part, it's who has if 24 hours or if you want to live.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which no one else went up there, which I was like, you might want to bring somebody else in here for a counseling session because there is 30 people here that want to die. So that was a little concerning. Then we had that the police chase basically. It's police chase, but basically the eye patch kid gets caught in the pit and watching everybody just staring at while he does laps like he's just shaking.
They're cheering him on as he's running from the cops.
Like, oh, whatever. He gets caught 40 grand, I think he is. So like, and then I put. Jimmy and Cop had sex. Did he have sex? Oh no, that's him and the buddy talking at the bar.
Oh, bunk! They're talking.
Basically, talking about you know what I knew because you fucked me good. Yeah,
you're real gentle.
You're real gentle.
I knew it was your first time.
Because I was like, no, she's a lesbian. Like, what am I talking about? No, it's the guy cop. That's why I put it down. Yeah. I think, again, somebody hasn't seen The Wire. Avon knows that there's a spy out there, and he is becoming more and more unstable. Mm-hmm. He is letting it go. I don't know if that's a trend, but that's what I'm picking up. Was Wallace high?
Yeah, he's been getting high. Yeah,
he started to use it. Yeah.
Okay. I was just wanted to check because he did like this, but I don't really want to see it. Bubbles and Boy get high again. Whatever his name is, I can't think of it. They get that guy in the interrogation room. They go through the questioning. He doesn't accept any of it, and they literally just go in and close the door. And I put police brutality. Like, he screw up the picture of him included, and put in there and beat the fuck out of the guy.
How easy it was to get away from that, to get away with that. Yeah. In the
early, they got Omar there listening to it too, right?
Yeah, Omar's in there just chatting while the dude's getting beat to shit.
And I like too that it shows Omar paying attention to their little board with all the pictures and everything. So he's kind of getting information for them while they're getting information from him. So.
Oh yeah, that man Omar is very intelligent. You can just tell throughout. Like he is playing chess while a lot of people are playing checkers. Mm-hmm. Jimmy helps that detective guy. I can't think of the guy's name, but like comes out and gives him. Yeah. And with that information, Jimmy finds out that
Well, we can't give Jimmy credit for that. It was all Madame LaRue.
Yeah, it was Madeline LaRue.
Oh, yeah. Oh, when that fat cop, I love that guy. He just pops up in the best circumstances. Because like he walked in there, he's like, "You fat cop." Oh, that's not very nice. And just walks out. I was laughing. That wasn't very nice. And then Jimmy gets told that Rawls is coming for his badge, basically. Like, and he's like, "I really enjoyed being a cop." Like, so I think this episode, I don't. So this might sound like a nitpick, but it's not. I think episode 6 and 7 are like not filler episodes, but they're
moving it. But yeah,
they're ramping episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're not throwing our shots too early. We're going to let this ramp up. Like, we have 13 episodes?
Yeah, I think so. First season.
Yep.
So if anybody's ever watched like a 13 to a 16 episode like season, by 8, like leading into 8, we get an 8. And then we get some, and then it's like a roller coaster. It has to ramp. So I feel like these are ramping up episodes. I think they're really good. Again, I think they set up a lot of groundwork, especially what comes next. But what was your guys' take on episode 7?
I think you pretty much covered most of the only part that I'd mention is that 2 of my favorite characters got to have a really good scene together. That's Bunk and Omar, when Omar got to talk to him about how he saw him in high school playing lacrosse.
Yes.
And he tells Bunk tells him that a man must have a code, to which Omar agrees with. Omar's got his own code that he lives by. So I thought that was a really cool scene.
No, that was a good one. Yeah, that's why that's what was happening when the guy was getting the shit beat out of him, basically. When they tore up that picture, though, I was like, or make sure you got those marks before you came in.
That's a good interrogation technique right there.
And then the guy thinking that they were going to uncuff him. Like, why are they going to uncuff you? You don't know where you're at right now.
Yeah, you're in a deep part of the prison. You are not getting in the police station. You're not getting out. Yeah, but I think again, a lot of great character moments. Not a lot of like higher
and
up.
This was the episode 2 where they brought in the kid with the eye patch, and Prez had to see him
I was going to bring that
again.
up,
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then like, you think you can buy me with a Reese's and a can of soda or something like that?
Yeah. Shut up, fat man. That's not great. Okay. We can move on to episode 8. I think that will take a little bit more time on this one. So, Parent of the fucking year. It's good that this gang is not like violent in any way or whatsoever and have never done any harm to any people whatsoever. I'm going to put my fucking children as tails on his ass. And they're going to be so good at tailing, I'm going to lose them. I'm going to lose them when they're following. Who are they following? They're following.
Stringer.
Yeah, Stringer. Just.
I'm going to let them follow the number 2 man. I'm going to leave the building and go get in my car while they're doing it.
It ain't fucking D'Angelo. And the kid's so smart or so dumb that he stands right behind the vehicle and writes down the license plate. Like, I was just like, oh, this kid. Like, I was sitting the whole time like, oh, I would like.
And even if he did lose the kids, having them call McNulty over the loudspeaker, I feel like Stringer has like met him at least at the courthouse and seen in like the first episode. I don't know if he knows his name, but
I was just like, that is so stupid, like crazy. But Father of the Year. So I think what we didn't miss on, I think it was episode 7 when Daniels meets the guy, Price, outside in that like event.
Yeah, at the event he meets him like in the kitchen with all the other chauffeurs and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, Rawlings. Yeah, that's right.
So there's another person we meet at that party, but we'll see him later on again. So
yeah, so we see Price. He gets busted with $20,000 in the car. From them, and they pull him in, which starts an absolute fucking shit show in there. They think they're doing right. He came right out of the place with the money, like all that stuff. have
But
no
he's an aide for the senator, so
aid for the
they're going to
senator.
bring trouble down.
Aid for the senator has no actual crime to charge him with.
Mhm.
They don't know. They're going to keep Daniels like suggests like write him a receipt and keep the cash.
Mhm.
What is the higher up's name? I can't think of his name. I'm terrible.
Which we got Burrell
Yeah, I
is
think
the deputy commissioner.
yeah,
That guy.
Yeah.
Basically the one that tells him you don't have a crime. Like I told The Wire, you guys don't, no surprises, no nothing. Give him back his money. And he says he's shutting down The Wire. Like
yeah, says they had to be another week and we're shutting it down.
Shutting down The Wire. Which basically he walks in and goes with Jimmy and him Daniels have an exchange at the elevator where he basically is like, what does he have on you? He's nothing but rank on me. And like he goes home, Daniels is kind of affected by the call. He goes home and talks to his wife and then says he asked me if he had anything on me, which I think is like everybody in this thing has like quid pro quos for everybody, and like that's not who he is. If there's one person, hey, I'm going to shut down The Wire. Hey, I'm going to put these warrants. Hampton. There's one guy to go to and another guy to go to and another guy to go through. Well, they're burning through fucking guys in 8 episodes. I'm just going to let you know. I don't know who's next. If one of these fuckers have the calls to like the president of the United States, like that would make more sense to me. But the judge comes to bat for Jimmy and gang. And says, I need 60. This thing says 60 days, and I'll hold you in contempt of court if you don't. So basically, we realize. He's going to get, hey, The Wire's not going away on Friday. We learned that. Like, he's going to keep it. Avon is becoming even more and more irritable in this episode. Everything seems to be going wrong. The $20,000 gets stolen, the $40,000. That one guy, I don't know which episode it was, but like the guy that like brings stuff in, like the run, like brings the stuff to the group, like he starts throwing money on him and kicking the shit out of him. Like, well, all I do is pay you. Like he's losing it in the club, so he's getting more and more irritable as we can see. And then I don't want to jump until we get to the moment, but is there anything before that I'm missing?
I think a little setup at least their Orlando stuff. Orlando went to D'Angelo to sell a package for him. And then D'Angelo, the smart man as he is, let it slip to the old Weebay and Stinkum, and they obviously told, which is only important. It will be important in it.
And that's the guy. That's the guy that Avon kicks the shit out of, right?
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Yeah, he's the face of the club. Yeah.
Yes.
And then I think at this point too, it's McNulty is tailing Stringer Bell. And he finds he's taken the community college classes on microeconomics.
We see Stringer give an economics lesson at the copy place he works at. What we got is an inelastic price.
So now we get an idea why Stringer kind of acts a little bit all high and mighty.
And then the quote that I've heard before, that I didn't know was from this, but if you come at the king, you better not miss. I've heard that growing up. I don't know where it was from. Omar says it. Basically, gets out the car, all in black. Like, well, the guy gets out of the car, he starts walking towards him or whatever, and then you hear, hey, turn around. It's
Stinkum.
Stinkum, yeah. He gets shotgun blast to the fucking chest. He gone. And then Omar and
Weebay
get into a gunfight, and then he gets he ends up getting shot, and then you just hear the whistling again from Omar. What's the song again? What's the nursery the rhyme that he does?
The Farmer in the Dell.
Yeah, and you hear that blood's pouring out his leg, and you just hear that whistle, and then he's like, "If you come at the king, you better not miss." And he's able to get away. Like he leaves him, and it's just his warning shot. Like he could have took him out if he wanted to, but he didn't want to. Like he has a rhyme and a reason for what he's doing, and I love it. just eerie feeling from that. I just loved every second of it. My jaw was on the floor. I was just like, which Avon still keeps losing guys basically at this point. Like people are ratting on him, he's losing their and not to mention, like I think I missed on this episode, like they tore the
phones out. I think that was the previous episode.
Episode. That was a bigger part. I missed that one. But basically, they're noticing the thing where they're ripping the phones out. You can't use the same phone in the same day or whatever. You have to alternate. You have to walk a few blocks. Like there is no more. Like they're on to the Wire group. Basically, they know something is not right, and they're going to try to figure it out. But Avon is like getting spies on the inside. He doesn't know. He's losing guys. Like he is not happy at all. And we see that scene where he's like basically talking to the group, and it's Idris Elba's character, Stringer, basically says to him, he's like, hey, I think maybe we hold peace for a little bit, let him calm down, let him get off guard, and then maybe get a meeting with him and take him out there. That's a suggestion that he has, but I don't know. Again, somebody that hasn't seen The Wire, I don't know if Avon is.
Yes, I think Avon puts like what $10,000 on his head or something like that.
Yeah, it was $10,000. I think, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he repeats twice, talking "let it slide." Like it like a cool thing, at least that will go at least with him further on, is that Avon cares way more about what the street has to say about him, and that's always a thing that comes first with Avon more than anything.
Yeah. So like. Interesting where it's all going with that. I'm not 100% like, but I'll tell you, this was the hardest episode not to click. The next one too, I was not like, I finished it yesterday and I was like, hey guys, you just want to hop on. I was trying to get ahead of it. I was so pumped. Jimmy and group basically meet with Omar.
Yeah, they pick him up and they pretty much know that he did it. They can't prove it. It sucks because this is the guy they actually had a good case on, and now he's dead. And that's one of my favorite quotes too. Is McNulty asks Lester, "Are we still cops?" And Lester's like, "Technically, I suppose so." Well, good to know.
I mean, by the standards, yes, but I don't know anymore. Like we're in this weird operation. And I think so. Not to tie this to the other episodes, which it stops that. Like Oz, I think why Oz has struggled for me in this first one. I've liked the episodes. Like none of them was like, oh, why are we watching this? But they're so heavy themed episodes. Like we're on that topic. We're doing that topic. The Wire is just this group, and it's just like progressing down the chain. Like it doesn't feel like, oh, we're not like the home life for the kids in this area. Like we're not learning about them for the entire time, and we're not learning about like the people behind bar. Like it's just it's a flowing story, which is why I like it and why I'm engaged with it, because like each episode progresses everybody as it is, and I think Oz. It does lose it after 6 this episode, this season, this one, 7 and 8. Kind of say, F it, we're not doing the theme, we're just doing the show. And like that's where people progress. So I like that. Did I miss anything for 8?
The only thing that I'd want to bring up is another a bunk scene that I love is when he's having his drunk one night stand at the lady's house, and she calls McNulty to come get him. He shows up and she's like, he set off the smoke alarm twice, and McNulty's like, that good, huh? Because he's in the bathroom burning his clothes, trying to get rid of the trace evidence.
Oh yeah, yeah, I forgot about that. Like I write down all these like brutal like make sure I move, but I missed like some of the funny like great scenes. Like he's just laying there, yeah. But I forgot all about that. You're 100% right. But yeah, overall, I thought it was a great episode. Oh, yeah. Omar is like climbing the list of like TV characters that I just like. I want more of, like, and not to be like insensitive, but does anybody know the story behind like the actual scar on his face?
No.
Like that's not TV. That's like his actual like thing. So I was like, it may not be from like his situation, like from movie, but it makes him look more menacing than ever before. So.
That homework assignment for next episode. We'll find out.
We'll dig into the facts of what happened with the scar. But anything else on 8?
No, I think we got everything. I love that Omar once again pieces up another piece of information from the board. He picks up the club, so pretty much the episode ends with him kind of staking out the club. So I can see why you'd want to click the next episode right away for that.
Oh, I was just like, this man is so cool. Like,
yeah, no, things are ramping up very nicely. The whole Stinkum Death part is always so awesome. I think I didn't, and I think it's honestly another thing I'd picking up on the rewatch is I didn't quite understand exactly what Stinkum and Weebay were doing there. I was a little bit confused. Then it's like, oh, they're out there to try to get rid of that other dealer because Stinkum was going to take over that area. Like, okay, and Omar just happened to be there. His thing that just kind of picked up there, and then although it was weird, like even though you brought up the bunk thing, that we had all these like little things that progress the episode, and we end off with like Jimmy picking up drunk Bunk, from this one night stand. Like that's the last thing we see.
Yeah, absolutely.
The one thing I didn't like that too is that Jimmy was kind of he was kind of judging Bunk a little bit, and after all the shit that McNulty pulls, I don't know.
Okay. We will go to Oz if everybody's ready.
Yeah.
Oz has a lot of things. So the first one, I literally put on the thing, old men. Well, we got our theme. Like it was right on the daily. We're like, okay, well, the one thing we haven't touched on is these old fuckers in the show. So, old man gets jacked. The guy was on death row that prevented it. I can't think of his name, but there's so many characters in Oz. It's so hard. I could almost get their prison numbers better than I probably could get their names at this point. But old man got jacked. We're having a conversation because you know what? If an old man gets punched and we have our theme, we gotta do something with these old fuckers. We gotta create a cell block for old people. Maybe you should just create a cell block where you put the lifetime murderers and the fucking people that are in there for a not long time separate. You psychopath. This whole Oz
But
thing.
the old guy is a lifetime murderer.
I know, but old people like sending these people. Like, it's crazy what we're doing. McManus denies the dinner from the hot nurse. What a douche. Like, I don't know what his
He doesn't
deal
need her pity dinner.
Yeah, you do. You crawl over and you say, yes, ma'am, what are we doing? Like, so stupid. I put McManus chokes.
He choked Wangler. And
yeah, when he can't bring him in.
Yeah, he chokes the fucker. Like, gets all angry. He's like, you want them to do it? I was like, aren't you supposed to be like the peacekeeper for all these guys, and you're the one choking someone out?
Having a rough day. Everyone was asking him, and you get tired of people asking if you're all right after a while.
Yeah.
I had my issues with McManus. I came to like him more in these last 3 episodes. McManus not getting laid is like peak McManus to me.
He's like, I've already screwed all the women in this prison, so now I can actually focus on beating.
There ain't that many. There's 2. There's 2 females. And Beechard, if you want to count that, but like there's the 2 that like there. But old man that got punched in the face, I put on the loose and falls down the stairs. He's just bolting around and falls down. He looks like he's just running upstairs. He ends up falling. He's hurt.
Didn't help him escape.
Did you all know that Alvarez's grandfather or dad or grandmother was in the same prison?
No, I think we were just introduced to that.
Nope. We had to
it's okay. He won't remember it.
Because the old guy
they brought it up at some. I think they brought up at some point that his dad and his grandfather were there.
Oh, okay.
Sure. But what we have to do, we have to make him a part of it because we're talking about old people and we don't have a ton of them. So let's bring in the old guy that thinks he's in Rome, that thinks he's in Havana, like he's back in Cuba, like he's having a time of his fucking life. Well, not really. He's losing his mind. Which is one of my favorite parts that happened. They're like, I'd literally put after that, old people, no, really, we found our theme. We got it. This dude murdered somebody. He's losing his mind. I think we just let him go. That's solid. Let's do it. Like, you don't have the prison staff does not have the permission to grant pardons to this killer that's in here. He's like, I think we just let him go. Sister, father, shut the fuck up.
Let him out the back door. He'll be okay.
I loved his response to that. He's like, well, like if he doesn't think he's here, technically he's already free.
The warden is such a dick at times. Like, he's letting it happen. I think one of the funniest parts of this thing, the cannibal has to go to the dentist. And the dentist is like, I'm not putting my fucking hands in his mouth. So he gives the nurse the situation. And this psycho goes, this tooth chewed on my mom. Like, he shows off the tooth in the thing. Like, this is one of the tooth I chewed on my mom with. Okay? Dude's crazy.
Nuts. You sell that.
The show does get a little bit off the rails. Beecher karaoke. Anybody have that on your bingo card? Not on mine, but we have a variety show in jail. Like,
they always got stuff going on in the cafeteria during lunch.
Yeah, don't they? We learned a lot today. This week. Beecher's still on drugs. He's doing more and more. Beecher, basically, the sister and McManus have a conversation about Beecher. They bring in the mom of the daughter that he killed. You want to talk about a 180 this woman takes. She sits there very calmly and like, oh, my husband did. Yeah, bad. Like, just starts. Which is the fair reaction.
Mm-hmm.
But what took her so long to get to that? Like, he was calm. He didn't say I didn't do it. I felt like he said nothing, and she lost it, which makes sense. But I thought that was a little bit of a character switch. This is a cool sequence. Confederate flag plus PCP equals chair to glass in his eyes, and he tries to leap to his death. Mm-hmm. Basically, what it's found out that Schillinger is giving up on Beecher, saying he doesn't want him anymore. But he's like, I'm not going to let anybody else have you. So he puts him in a Confederate flag shirt. He covers up, walking really well without it. And then all of a sudden, he comes into O'Reilly. O'Reilly goes, oh, shit. Well, if you're going to go, have you ever tried PCP before? Puts him on PCP. This dude still covers up his chest, walks up, grabs a chair, launches it at this glass, which I don't run a prison. Don't do it. Your cells should not have breakable glass. Because if they can be broken, then they're not cells. They are free-reigning pods where, because you know what's in your cell? What's in your cell is like those bunks that are made of metal that just break through glass. Saw a lot of flaws, whatever. Schillinger takes it to the eye. I'm going to kill you, Beecher. Beecher tries to leap because he knows he ain't going to make it out if he did this, so he's going to try. He gets put in the hold. He's going to detox off of it. O'Reilly's kind of a bitch. I like O'Reilly. Nino puts him in charge of the kitchen. 3 seconds as being in charge of the kitchen, he's going to put glass in Nino's food and kill Nino. What? Like,
Nino's in his way.
It's just crazy. Just a quick thing. Then we get a weird like we're on a theme. We're doing the theme, right? Old people. Basketball star?
Oh yeah, Vayhu.
Yeah. Good old
Rich
Rick
Fox. Rick Fox from the Lakers is in the show. Cool. But he's a bitch. Like he is just like this whiny fucking bitch of a guy. Like I play basketball now, nothing. Dude, you fucking tried to rape somebody. I don't know who's feeling bad. He only got
What did he go to like a rich person jail or a celebrity jail or something like that?
He got 12 years for like attempted rape and everything. I was like, you
Like he assault too. Don't forget that.
got off pretty easily. Oh, and then we meet the one guy. The other guy in Saeed's.
Oh yeah, the guy that tries to form the little
Such a bitch. He's there for 2 seconds, like in this episode and the next episode. Like
his arc's over pretty quick.
Yeah, Mershaw.
But he attacks and like attempted murder. He's in there for 20 years with parole in 3.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, how do you get sentenced for 20 and hey, we're gonna take 17 years? I guess on good behavior, but wild. And then he watches Saeed have a heart attack and be like, sorry, brother. No help. Like, you're going to accept me in your brotherhood? Yeah, you're going to die. Peace out. I thought episode 6, I may be off. This could, I will say, this is the worst episode of the season.
Yeah, this is a dud. This
is where they don't know. Like, I love the Beecher Schillinger stuff. Like, that's great. Like, Gimme was all that. That is 4 minutes of this 50-minute episode. We are on old people. We're on Alvarez saying, "Oh, I gotta see my grandpa." We're on like, "Mama, like doesn't know English, don't understand shit, don't know." Old man's getting punched in the face. We got this new guy that comes in the thing. Like the coolest thing was like Adebisi and Riley in the kitchen, like talking about like putting the glass and stuff. Like that's a cool situation, but we don't get any payoff of that right now. Besides, like I think it was like the sauce. You change up the sauce, like what you make the sauce too spicy or whatever. I was like, yeah, because he's shitting his brains out.
How come they don't have any guards in this kitchen while they're cooking all these meals and preparing all this stuff?
And there's just broken glass available wherever you want. There's just shit that you just not even supposed to be around. It's there. Yeah, this was my worst episode of the season, and it was pretty definitive. Mark, you're different. You love this episode. You guys are.
A thing that you don't understand is that McManus's office is overlooking the cafeteria, so he's always watching them. So that's why they have a
shit job.
When he's not hitting on one of the 2 females in the prison,
just chasing tail.
I don't know. I guess I just remember the good stuff. I mean, because this is where like we get to like.
Oh, there's good stuff coming.
I think the next 2 episodes are by far the best episodes probably of the seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
like yes, this is a build-up, but we wasted so much time on the fucking old fucks that. One, like we know the guy that survived death row, like he's goofy, but we don't know him at an emotional level to actually like care too much. Alvarez's father, or is it his grandfather?
Grandfather, yeah.
Grandfather, we don't have any emotional connection.
And I don't even think he shows up again in the next 2 episodes, right?
No, it's just this. The whole thing is just like theme. We have to have a theme. Well, we're running out of fucking themes. What do we need? Fucking let's do this. Like
it feels like we need 54 minutes. They're going to give us 54 minutes.
They know it's such a shit theme that they abandon it halfway through the episode. They don't even touch it again.
But I'm looking at the theme, like Wikipedia could just be wrong. I'm looking at the theme. It says health, which okay, old people makes, but I guess they count like
the
wheelchair. They count like wheelchair guy as like him relapsing. That's a part of the health theme. Like I don't know, man. Like I will give you guys that is some weekend.
That's some stretching. That's some fucking stretch. Oh, this basketball guy's here. I've been sober my entire life.
But
basketball guy tells me to smoke. I'm gonna smoke. Like, buddy, what?
I mean, to be fair, if Michael Jordan came to me and told me to smoke,
That's
I'd
true.
probably smoke
That's
too.
so true. That's so true.
I don't know if this guy's Michael Jordan. Maybe more like Scottie Pippen. With Scottie Pippen gets you to do some heroin.
They keep talking about the Bulls game, so I don't know. Who knows? In this world, Michael Jordan might not exist.
So I'll stop trashing it. Mark, what were your positives from this episode? I'm not saying all of it's bad, but it was just like.
I mean, like I would say, at least from what I remember, Beecher, I think to me is just kind of by far, he maybe by far just my favorite character, just from all, and especially like this is where like Beecher finally breaks, and the Schillinger stuff kind of comes to a head. I love that so much. Although you guys are right, that does happen like about 30 minutes in, then we just kind of we don't really see him for the rest of this episode, or honestly for a chunk of the next one, if we're being honest. But that, and also just O'Reilly, just he doesn't give a fuck. O'Reilly's just on O'Reilly's side, and even like when some guy's good to him, and he does this glass, like the glass. I just kind of love the plot of like, oh, we're just gonna crush glass and then stick in his food. That's such a great way to kill somebody.
Oh yeah,
Like not just in a prison.
not a great way to kill, but a great way to kill somebody for sure.
Oh, 100%. Like, I think it was very creative. Like, O'Reilly, he just has no, like, the thing is, like, I like, and I don't remember how his story, like, goes, but, like, if he got axed tomorrow, definitely, he's the one that just gets completely should be shot 7 times, like, by 7 different gangs. Like, he's crossed everybody at one point.
I will say, always like, out for himself, and he knows how to work everyone against each other so he comes out on top.
Like, I will say, like, an element that does it become a factor later on the show. I think makes his character more interesting, for just at least on the side of him having him only being on his own side, which I think is interesting. I don't really want to jump the shark in that too much. You guys probably know what I'm talking about.
You guys want to go into the next episode?
Yeah, things get a lot better.
Yeah, so Saeed's gone. He's had the heart attack. New guy that doesn't he's not worth knowing a name. Fuckface is what I will call that guy.
He was stupid enough to try to turn everyone against Saeed while we don't even know if Saeed's dead yet.
I mean, that's part of my issue. What is that for? Like, he just shows up, like, kind of tries to fuck some shit, but oh wait, actually, Saeed isn't dead, so yeah, actually, you're out of here. Like,
it gave Saeed something to do for 2 episodes.
Doesn't he have a full episode of fucking screen time? It's just like he's just here and he's gone.
Yeah, it's weird because one, like, his followers have to be the dumbest human beings possible. Like, right? Like, hey, if he said if he steps down, this new guy that hasn't been around, he wants to start holy war. What? We were just praying yesterday. We didn't say fucking anything about a holy war. He didn't lead to what?
He just told that to me, guys. You know.
Yeah, okay. I knew we're holy war. I'm like, get the fuck. Okay, fuck. So we're doing a holy war. Saeed gets out of the hospital quick. We're doing a holy war. Saeed's in the prison again. Like, he tells McManus and them he'll start taking the medicine. He's going back in the prison, and he's like, banish this man. Like, do not speak to him. He does not belong to us. And then we also see a moment. We kind of see, like, correct me if I'm wrong. The Saeed switch kind of comes out of left field. Like, we know he's leading to this, but he's not this anti, like, group. Because what, was it 2 episodes ago, 3 episodes ago, where he's in the warden's office and been like, yeah, we will.
I mean, in the first episode, he came in really strong, and then they kind of softened that part a little bit, and then they ramped it back up again for the end of the season.
It just seems a little weird. Like, he's sitting there, he's like, yeah, let's just pray, let's do this, blah, blah.
I mean, once you have a heart attack, it puts things in perspective, and you need to get back on task.
Then Saeed is going to the press. They interview him. This is basically the FBI report that they just did. Nothing has come out of it. Like, what happened? So that makes Warden pissed off. Fuckface goes to the McManus and everybody and says, like, yeah, Saeed's leading the war. They got a bunch of weapons, blah, blah, blah. Warden's like, when's the last time you did a shakedown? You might want to do it. Shakes down the entire prison, finds everything ever in this prison. And they don't have enough holding cells, so they basically eliminate phone calls, everything for him. They're like, fuck you, you don't get none of it.
It's almost this is why we haven't done a shakedown in a while. No, we're
Yeah.
not.
And then this was the Breakfast Club moment too, where the one kid mouths off was like 2 months.
Yeah. Oh, Alvarez goes, oh yeah, 2 months. Like, you want to say it again? Then Warden kind of just like has like is this the point? Yes, I think it's the point where he's like they released the FBI report. He is reading the FBI report. They are all doing the table like this, the banging of it and whatever. Basically, I can't finish this, but then, well, he fires back and he's like, "Fine, I'm taking all your prayer shit and your headgear and like all that shit. Like, fuck you, you're not gonna be able to pray." And he's like, "We're more than just beads and stuff." So that's all that situation. In this whole time, Alvarez and I think Cannibal guy have that conversation. Like, I think I need to kill the Warden.
Yeah, he gets like super impressed by Saeed and how everyone's following him. Is like, I should kill the Warden.
That table thing was really cool. Yeah, we should kill the Warden. All right. He tries to kill the Warden, kills another cop. Kills a cop. He gets put on death row. He's gonna die, and he chooses firing squad. Yeah. Which is bold strategy.
Yeah.
To take a firing squad.
OG move.
Yeah. Don't know how I feel about that, but and then they do that whole thing where he's like sitting there and he's like they're talking about the fuckface guy. He's like solitary, like by yourself, like a loneliness. What had happens? He ends up killing himself. Like he's dead. He's dead within moments. We get a new cop in the prison. We get 2 new cops. Avon from The Wire shows up.
Avon jumps ship over
and drops off a gun. Off a gun and says, "Peace." Do we see?
Like, I gotta get back to the streets.
We don't see him again.
I don't think so.
I don't
think
so.
Moment in the washroom, right? And Saeed walks away and he has the gun, and that's it. He goes to turn in his weapon for the night or whatever. It's like, "Where's your weapon?" "Oh fuck, you gotta go." You dropped it. So he's gone. Nino bleeds out. He has that moment. All of his he's hemorrhaging from everything, and O'Reilly has that moment where he's feeding him at the end. He's like, "I'm not that dumb guy anymore, am I?" Which is just crazy. Did I miss anything else from episode 7? There may be something.
A couple of things. A Ryan O'Reilly moment that was like really fucked up was when he's at the cafeteria and Nino's like, "I'm not hungry." So then he gives the glass food to the celloist guy.
The cello player, like, what the fuck you do?
Oh yeah, I missed the cello guy. The cello guy. There's 2 things I missed. The cello guy gets introduced, and he's like, he gets an hour to perform by himself, like in the thing. Okay, where the fuck did you come from? Like, he killed another, which is funny. Didn't he kill another guy that's in the band? So what we're going to reward him with is the weapon that basically he used to kill the other guy.
That's McManus move right there.
Which he gets his shit. He gets the basketball player destroys.
Yeah, he destroys the cello. Yeah.
And then the cops basically they lost one of their own, and they are violent. Like a lot of them are getting suspended because they're taking it out. Like O'Reilly's getting the shit kicked out of him. A lot of them are just coming into the hospital because they're an eye for an eye, and I think once he's dead, it will even back out, which makes Saeed cause a little bit situational because they're like the violence is. And then everybody that walks in like sees Saeed and be like, "Saeed." They're all like, "That's the infamous Saeed." Like, yeah, he bombed a place, but do you know there's a guy that ate somebody down here? Like, there's a whole other guys.
But you don't want to follow that guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, you missed the best part of the episode is Beecher's workout.
Yeah.
No, that's the next episode, isn't it?
No, it's at the end. It's at the end of this
episode,
one.
Yeah.
No, it's episode. No, that's episode 8.
You sure?
I'm looking at it right now at the end of episode 7.
Is it episode 7?
Yeah, I think it's like the last scene.
Oh, that's the only reason I didn't. Yeah. They well,
I mean, we can use it to bridge into the next episode. Either
Okay, because
way.
I don't know. That's just, because Schillinger like talks about his kids and like how he wants to like. Well, that's later, but
Yeah, that's
basically
after this.
he comes back. One of them has to go to Gen Pop, which Schillinger gets sent to Gen Pop. Are we not wrong on that? So the gyms are connected.
I guess they all get to use the gyms.
Well, maybe, just fucking maybe, if you're moving a guy to Gen Pop and you're having the other guy in or something, maybe they don't get gym time together. Fucking, like, no wonder Oz has as much fucking HR nightmares as it does in this place, because they're idiots. 3 seconds into Schillinger doing push-ups, I guess, in just the middle of the gym, Schillinger, Beecher walks out there with a weight, pops him in the fucking head, hits him with a bench, puts it on top of him, and then takes a shit and shoves it in his mouth.
While all the other prisoners are cheering him on.
You remember when you did this to my ass? Eat my shit. Whoa. Okay.
You know, I remember this from last time. I knew there was something shit related at the end of the season with Beecher. I couldn't for the life remember it. And then this came up like, oh yeah, that's what it was.
Well, hello. There it is. Yeah, I was just like, because I forgot about this moment altogether. Yeah, and again, I was not burying the lead. I just thought this was the next. It makes a little bit more sense because, like, I have more about him on the next page. But, yeah, fucking crazy, eats a shit. And is that how the episode ends?
I think that's the end. Yeah,
that's the end of the episode. Yeah. So overall, what episode 6 lacked, episode 7 was miles better because I think they just went away from the theme kind of thing. I don't know if there's a theme like listed on the wiki or whatever for it.
It says unplanned event. Sounds like bullshit to me.
Sure, that makes sense. Like, you mean prison? You mean prison? So what do you guys' takes on episode 7? I thought that episode 7 was arguably one of the best episodes of the season.
Oh, I think it's no argument. I think this was the best episode of the season so far. I really thought like all the storylines were doing really good. I thought the Saeed stuff was good. I really loved the whole thing with the firing squad, and then the one guard feeling bad about it afterwards, or not sure if he's supposed to feel bad about it afterwards. And then of course the Beecher scene at the end is just crazy. Beecher is definitely the best Beecher.
And he's fully fucking crazy. Like he has his. Yeah, he's lost it.
I mean, I just love how this episode just really ramps things up. Like everything just kind of feels like it just gets chaotic, just kind of out of nowhere. And then things just like start really firing. This is also one of the first episodes I kind of felt like, okay, like stuff is just kind of happening and just kind of rolling with it. And we know like we're leading up to something, but we don't quite know what it is. And this is also a thing like I was kind of like trying to say without really saying it, because a thing I remember really liking about the first season when I first watched it was how it felt like there was almost a bit of Game of Thrones in this one where it felt like we were getting introduced to a bunch of characters we thought were going to be important, and then they all just kind of slowly die off. Like Shibeta was kind of like the last one, a guy who he's going to be like a major player for no, he's just dead. Just kind of bleeds out from everywhere, and he like we don't have to worry about him anymore. And it kind of sets the table, at least for a number of guys who are the people who are actually going to be main players from here on out.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. Okay. Episode 8.
Yep.
Schillinger's only in jail for 8 years. What the fuck?
He just beat a guy up. I don't think he like killed him or anything.
That was my number one takeaway from this. I don't care whatever the fuck happened after. Holy shit! How does this psychopath only have 8 years in jail and he's almost ready for parole?
Well, imagine it from a jury's point of view. He's a father trying to protect his children from this drug dealer.
That's what I think is kind of nuts about what Schillinger did. Is that what he did is maybe like the most relatable crime. is that he beats up a drug dealer who tries to sell drugs to his kids. Like with his
Unless
guts to me.
he told the kids to go over there so he could go beat the
Yeah,
drug dealers.
that's what I think. That's what I think.
It's crazy because he's probably the most garbage person that we know up to this point. And like he has the thing like, oh yeah, I would probably do that too to the dealer who tries to sell my kids some heroin.
And there's the bigger, like, I would say, like, the biggest moment in, like, Oz, like, is involving Schillinger. It hasn't happened yet. Like, it's not involved. That's the one scene that everybody talks about from it. Is like where he's like here, and then this one he like switches gears, so they're having the conversation. So he hits him in the head with a weight. He smashes a bench on him, and then he shits in his mouth. And the very next episode, going through these, hey, we're gonna put you guys back together. Stop. Fucking checks. Man, why do you have problems in your prison? I don't fucking know. Yeah, maybe because you're just not fit for your job. Like, we'll take your resignation tomorrow.
Schiller wants to get parole.
He goes, a good boy. He goes, oh, so he branded a thing on my ass, fucked me in the ass, did all this stuff, and he was like, I'm supposed to forgive him? What would you do? I'd forgive him. I'm fucking McManus, you just choked a child. You choked a teen like a kid the other day. Like, fuck off. Like, just this bullshit thing. Like, yeah, I was just like 8 years. They introduced like the main the crux. Like, I won't do like individual like points. The main crux is the inmates run the asylum. Like, the inmates take over this. You think like, oh, it's a prison show. Like, how's this gonna go? Like, oh, probably like up season 3, like they'll finally do a riot. Nope, we fucking do that in season 1 right here to close out the episode. They basically take over Oz. They take over Emerald City. Saeed has that gun from last episode. New cops are introduced because they're kind of like running. They're basically the warden's like kicking other people out. Because they're breaking the rules, they're having to hire new people. Saeed kind of has a master plan. He's like, make that new cop hit you, and as soon as he hits you, we'll take the place. Like, they have this place, they have it fucking ready to roll. So basically, it's one of the coolest like sequences when they get the gun and they just take over the entire prison.
And the crazy thing too is they didn't even have to really use his plan because the people having that checkers game started the fight themselves, and then that started the whole chaos of everything.
Yeah, they're like, well, we might as well go now.
Yeah, let's go. We're doing it live.
Yeah, we might as well just change the plan. Audible. We're gonna fucking just run it now. So yeah. They end up breaking it. Not to jump back a little bit. I did miss one of the key points. Cigarette trade.
Right.
What's her name? Gets busted for bringing cigarettes in. She talks to McManus in such a weird, like,
he's such a dick.
God, he's such an idiot. He does like the ultimate like bro moment of all time. Is like, did you fuck her? Did you fuck him? Like, blah. Like, what does it fucking matter if he did or not? Like I understand if it's like in jail, like that's not okay. But like doing this run, just like, and he's like, no, stay. I'm like, I'm sorry. Oh, you're sorry? Yeah, forgive me. Okay, I do. You'll stay? I have no choice. Like, she's like, fuck you. Like, I have no choice. I have to stay. And then she tries to shut it down, and he's like, basically, I'll go to the warden and tell her what you did. Yeah, I'll get the hole for a little bit, but you will be out of job. And like, don't fuck with me. Don't cross me.
Why doesn't she just go right back to McManus and say, well, I tried, but he threatened to go to the warden?
Yes. She's just like, you know what? That sounds fucking logic. I can't do anything about this. I guess I just have to deal with it. No.
I don't understand, McManus.
Or maybe move him to Gen Pop or something.
Yeah, it's just crazy. Like, and he's walking by, like as she gets out of the cell. Like, how'd that go? Yeah. There are more cigarettes coming, by the way. Yeah, but also. This show, also great episode. I think I kind of like the last episode a little bit more. I know it's weird because this one's like got all the fights and like everything, but like this one has some problems with it. For this, if you're taken to prison, right? Why's the cello player gotta go?
Well,
Like,
I don't think that guy was very much part of the organized plan
I
to take the
know, but
prison.
like, even if this is the moment, can you please tell me what the cello guy did?
I just gotta stab somebody.
That's what it seemed like. Right.
This is my chance to stab somebody and not get in trouble for it.
Like, just chaos. And they just keep opening those doors to just let more and more people out. Like, McManus is able just to walk throughout the prison. Like, yeah, they got him. They got one gun. They got one gun at this point. I don't know. But yeah, and what a group. Listen, I'm not saying this is like a TV council that could like lead charges, but Alvarez, O'Reilly, Adebisi, Saeed, and the other guy,
the
Rob,
supremacy guy, Ross,
whatever.
Yeah.
How did those get to be the high chairs of this entire? Like, Saeed makes sense. Adebisi, Riley makes sense. How the fuck does Alvarez and like Rob get like invited to this thing? So it's just a weird situation.
Well, Alvarez is pretty much the head of the Latinos right now, so
I guess that is true. I guess that is true, right? But yeah,
and then Ross, I guess, is the head of the white people right now.
Schillinger's not there. Well,
Schillinger's trying to be behaved.
Yeah. That's also what I kind of love about O'Reilly is that O'Reilly isn't really a head of anything, but he's one of the top 5 guys there anyway.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he has his hands in 12 different pockets. Like, he's in the cops, he's in this part, he's got Beecher, he's got them all. Mm-hmm. And the weird thing is, Schillinger is 3 months away from parole that we learn about. So which I don't know if y'all know this, 4 months to parole, fucking dickhead doing awful shit. 5 months, fucking dickhead. 3 months.
Well, to be fair, he talked with his sons and he saw that they're going down a bad path, so he wants to be there to straighten them out.
What this motherfucker does in later episodes, he don't give a fuck about his parole. But yeah, he does all this shit, just crazy. But yeah, because Beecher like approaches him too when he walks by. Hey, bitch, what are you doing? Like, Beecher is fully unleashed. Like, he just doesn't care anymore. Like, kill me. He get broken up with, and like now he's pissed. What was I gonna say though? Basically they storm. They get all the people, all the guards. They lock him up. Old reliable governor. They're like, hey, let's just like they sit down. They're like, we need a list of demands, and like, okay, we'll look through them. Honestly, these demands aren't that hard. Tear gas, guns. No, like literally, they're not that bad. No, fucking shoot them all. I don't care. Like, doesn't matter. We're gonna go in there. We're gonna fucking kill everybody. All right. But yeah, just idiot situations. They end up. McManus has to go in there. He's trying to negotiate the 2 injured guys to come out of it. He'll go in, which he does. The governor also just wants to kill the power, kill the water, and say, fuck off, enjoy your life in that fucking hellhole until nothing's left. Like, they set fire to all their mattresses. Like, this is like the dumbest crew possible. But like, fuck, we have this place. We're just not going to sleep on anything comfortable or have TV.
Or we're going to start a fire that's going to kill us all.
Yeah, there's no windows, there's no ventilation. These people are dead from fumes in a matter of moments. Yeah, I just thought it was I love the chaotic nature of this one, but overall, like it seemed too big for where they are in the seasons. Like,
it felt too big and too small at the same time. It felt like a prison riot on a budget.
Yeah, like it happened fast. Like, have you guys ever seen the show Prison Break?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Like, you're like, how long is the show Prison Break going to last? They fucking break out in the first, like, they are on the run in the first. And that makes sense because it's called Prison Break. But the problem is, how long are you going to do Prison Break outside of the prison? You named it Prison Break. Like, you could have named it Freedom.
Now we got to break out of another prison.
You're gonna put me in. We gotta do another one. I have tattoos for this only one prison. Doesn't matter. We're gonna break into another prison. Like you could have called it Freedom and you had a way better opportunity for multiple seasons. Anyways, I know this is like this one. It's like Oz. We're in a prison. Prison riot. Okay, I like where you're going, but season 1. What are we doing in season 2? Another prison riot. Like I don't know, like where you could... So it gave me that concern. But overall, I like the episode a lot. I think Saeed, I think all the character moments. I think it's really cool at the end when the lights go out, the smoke comes in, and all you just see is gunshots. So we don't really know who has been taken out, who hasn't.
Yeah, this is a good clip.
If I was a betting man, no main characters.
I just marked down one person because someone gets shot in the head.
Yes, clearly. But let me tell you, it's a lot of people that don't matter.
Yeah.
So, like, oh, you know that guy that played cards with Nino that one time? Dead. You know that guy that Adebisi like pushed into the wall? Dead. Like Adebisi, Saeed, all these main still alive, kicking. Feel bad for Schillinger because he's 3 months away and he did not want any part of this ride. And he looks like a scared school child. Like, what? No. Like, he's also not included in the meeting, too, which I think is a good sign because he's like, you know what they're going to say about you. Because I think that's where Rob kind of gets or I call him Rob. I don't know his name.
Yeah.
Is it Rob?
Ross.
I knew it was an R. Oh. Yeah. He sat there and he's like, they're not going to take you serious. Like, if you like, let him. So maybe that's how he gets the power into the 5 because Schillinger doesn't get it because Schillinger doesn't want anything to do with it. Now, how the group is going to see moving forward, like it's interesting to how the prison treats this incident. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Because like, is everybody guilty? Isn't it like who is guilty, who's not guilty in this?
Do they have cameras in this place? Are they gonna be able to see that Saeed had a gun?
Again, we got all these. Let's put all these fucking people in one fucking place, and then, yeah. But I think it's crazy. Anything on that episode that I missed, and then we're gonna do a kind of a special thing for this one.
I think you pretty much hit it all. My pretty much note is crazy Beecher rules. I love him just running around with a fire extinguisher. And the scene with him and Schillinger where he pretty much just tell him, I'm going to make sure you never get paroled. I'm going to fuck you over every single time. But yeah.
Yeah, right? It's just crazy on that one. Okay. Okay. So let's what would hold on. I swear I have this plan in mind. So what we're gonna do is like rate the season basically from a star rating. So it's like letterbox rules. We'll kind of like go with like consensus where we are, and then we'll find the medium in the middle. So season 1 of Oz, rating 5 half star to 5 stars. Where are we sitting on season 1? Would it help if I go first?
I mean, season 1 is definitely a lot of introducing the characters, setting up a lot of the dynamic.
I'm sitting. I wouldn't say strongly, but I'm sitting at a 3.5.
I was sitting at that 3.54 range. I know a lot of the seasons coming up are a lot better, so that's why I think I'd probably lean more towards the 3.5 for this one.
Mark?
Yeah, I'll be honest, I was probably sitting at like a 2.5. And then like this stretch of episodes came and like, you know what? I can bump up a full one. I'll give it a 3.5. These last couple episodes really helped for me. I definitely liked 6, I think, more than you guys did. Just I thought there were a lot of neat stuff in there. And then 7 and 8, I think, are mainly just because there's always been there's a tad of like we want to stay a little realistic. 7 and 8, they just throw that out the fucking window and like we're just going. Like we don't care anymore. And like, all right, cool. Let's just be this thing.
Yeah, 100%. Trying to add, I gotta add a season to this. Okay. Okay. So overall, I think the season 1 they did a really good job of introducing characters. We'll see, like, again, Matt's seen it, so he kind of has like a baseline of where he feels like where it will be. Like future episodes. I've been a while away, so we'll get into it. Okay, Breaking Bad. Close out this season 1, 7 and 8. We only did 2 episodes for this one. We were back to 3 episodes apiece, except for the not next episode, but the one after. The Wire will only have, I think, 2 episodes for that one to close out that.
Yeah, I think so.
Right.
No, they I'm pretty sure they got 4 or 9, 10, 11, 12. There's 5 left, so we can still do 3.
Yeah, we'll do 3 for, and then the following episode.
3, and then the following episode 2. So I said it correctly. Mark just corrected me.
Oh, okay.
I know how to do. You're right about the shit thing. I'll give you that one. I will. You got to admit you're wrong on this one. Okay. Anyways, so Breaking Bad. As Mark is the lover for The Wire, I am the overly lover of Breaking Bad. So we're back in the RV. At the beginning of it, it's cutting between like a crime scene that we're kind of noticing. We don't really know what's happening. Walt's coming out, his nose kind of bleeding. If you watched our intro at all, it involves that. But cutting within the crime scene, Walt kind of lays down a message to Jesse, basically no more bloodshed. There will be no more bloodshed. Seen the show. That's hilarious, but no more bloodshed. They're going to do it clean. They're not going to do it anymore. Here we see him doing chemo treatment. And then him going through Skylar sitting there. Skylar and Walt have a conversation about the check from Elliot. Elliot says, "Oh, I already took care of it. It's already in the bank. We're all good." As he's writing a check to the place and says, "Hey, don't cash it till Monday." Waiting for money to come in from the meth. Walt is sick at school. He's throwing up. He's continuing, like, work is becoming to give you more and more for him. He's getting weaker, as we can see.
And some respect for Hugo, the janitor, for taking care of Walt and cleaning up after him.
Yes, cool. Which poor that Hugo gets even worse of this treatment later. We'll talk about that in a second. Cancer support group where Skylar makes it about herself.
She just wants to know where he's at.
Ma'am, you don't have cancer. Shut up. He's not acting like himself. Cancer. God, I hate Skylar. It's weird. They're cooking in the desert, which I'm not a smart man, but they're in New Mexico, correct?
Mm-hmm.
I think the desert is hot in New Mexico, and being in an RV without AC sounds like death. So
anywhere you park the RV, it's going to be hot. So
right. So maybe that's not a good idea. Maybe put more bullet holes in it for ventilation. Walt kind of like crashes from cooking inside. He sits down, his thing's open. He sees the red dot on his chest, basically. Jesse knows about cancer. Basically knows that he doesn't have long. Basically had an aunt go through it, knows a little bit about it. Walt tells Jesse to cook. Like, you're just going to have to do it. Like, I can't do it right now. I trust you. If you have questions, I'm here. He does it. That mask that those kids were playing with and Hank found has had marking on it of where it's located. It came from Walt's school, and he knows about it. So that's fun. Hank is now there. Jesse goes selling. We see him handing off a bunch of things. Tuco took over for Crazy Eight's spot, and basically Jesse comes back with money. And he's like, "What? It's like $1,300 or something." He's like, "This isn't worth. This is illegal. What I'm doing. This is not worth it. I am." No, he yells, "I am breaking the law." Which is hilarious to me. He's like, "I'm breaking the law. This is not what's happening. I'm not risking it for $1,300 fucking dollars. You stupid." Hank comes to the school. meets Walt at the school. Basically says, hey, can we go looking through your inventory at your science lab? Notices all the stuff that is missing. He goes, man, you just got taken for a meth head. He's like, I don't want to cause more trouble for you, but like a meth head went fucking ape shit on your stuff.
How hard would it have been for Walt to just change the inventory on that piece of paper there?
Why? That's the one thing he didn't think of. Like, I guess he just didn't think of anybody. No, he's probably worked there for years. No one's ever looked at his inventory for the shit. It was just fine. But bitch, when you start taking it, you might want to account. And then Hank says a very interesting line. You don't want people to start worrying about you. And the classic Hank stare. Walt laughs, and then Hank laughs back. That's a theme in this seasons. You'll find out. Fucking Hugo, cleaning up, throw up, doing everything, going to jail. Fucking busted.
For just, like one joint.
For a joint. God. In Breaking Bad, a lot of people going to jail would not be going to jail because of weed, because it's legal. Interesting. Walt's starting to lose his hair. It's going down the drain. He shaves his head. Another thing. Fucking shaves his head. Skylar. The motherfucker has cancer. Maybe don't just jolt at yourself and be scared of the man. Like, you know what? He's not bald. He's adjusting with it just like you are. Maybe don't act scared of him. Classic scene. Tuco meets Jesse. Jesse brings the things. Tuco, one of the most interesting characters in the show, fucking lunatic. He tries the meth, loves the meth. He's like, $35,000. Okay. He's like, it's a consignment. Like, you'll get the money later. Blah, blah. He's like, I want it up front. I don't know what Jesse thinks, because later we find when Walt goes up there that there's a door. That metal door that like is a lock. He fucking grabs the bag and runs. Where he's running, don't know, but they catch him fast.
Mm-hmm.
Tuco pretends to give him like the $35,000, puts it in a bag, and then just proceeds to beat the living fuck out of Jesse. A methed out psychopath Tuco is literally beating the fuck out of this guy. And he beats him bad. And then Walt goes to visit Jesse in the hospital. Skinny Pete, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's friendly. He's in there smoking. He's in there sitting with him. He's like, tell me everything you need to know about Tuco. And you see Walt's face kind of change. Next line, Heisenberg is born. The first mention of Heisenberg is mentioned in this episode. He says he goes up to Tuco. He comes with meth. He says, I'll sit there with, what's your name? He says, Heisenberg. And he's like, how much or whatever? He's like, here's the more meth. And he's like, how much is it? And he's like, $50,000, $35 for what you stole from me, and $15 for my friend's pain and suffering. And he basically says, you want to fuck, like, you're really ballsy. He's like, well, the thing is, cue the scene. This isn't meth. Takes the thing, spikes that bitch in the ground. The thing blows up. He ends up, this is the episode. Yeah, he ends up taking the money. Like, they give him the $50,000, and he promises to give him
£2. Yeah.
Because he says a pound. And he's like, how about two?
Can you handle two?
Can you handle two? So he takes two. Episode ends. Fantastic episode.
Oh, yeah.
Like, from top to bottom. Hank's in the mix. Hank is on him, trying to figure out the situation with everything. Stuff's tied to his school. He's going to lead there. The cooking, the drug empire is like, he's now like, Walt stepping further out of his comfort zone because he's not supposed to do what Jesse's doing, but he has to, and kind of just bosses the situation. Like, kind of shows that Walt's just not who you think Walt really is. Like, Walt, like how he walks into that place and like does the things. There's more to Walt than meets the eye. So overall, did I miss anything from episode 7? What are your guys' takes? Like, I again had everything in this episode for me. Skylar hate, poor Hugo. The only victim of this is Hugo. You might need to put him on the kill count just for it because that man fucking nothing.
Ruined his career.
Yeah.
Hank comes off kind of like a dick for all that. But,
oh yeah, that's
and,
normal. Early season.
Is the did they do like the baby shower? Is that this episode or is that the next episode? The next
episode.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, no, this is a great episode. I loved all the stuff with Tuco. Tuco is awesome. He's crazy and he's insane and I love it. And the scene with him and Walt at the end is fantastic.
Because he kind of matches the crazy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Walt goes in there. Jesse acts like a punk bitch and like gets beat up for it. But like Walt just threatens and blows up basically his room. And what does he do? He gets 50 grand. Like he gets cash from it.
That's a ballsy move. Like 9 times out of 10, you're probably getting killed right there.
But I think it's what he realizes. He has nothing to lose at this point. Like, yeah, he doesn't want to go to jail. Like, but in this situation, like if he dies in this situation, then fuck it. Like he's gonna die anyways. But like he matches crazy with crazy, and Tuco kind of respects it.
Yeah.
I mean, we see it like throughout this episode. He's taking like 50 pills. Like he's pissing blood. Like he feels like he's gonna die at this point. And Walt just turns into the guy in this episode. It is so fucking cool to watch. So this is the moment in the show. When I watched the first time, I knew, okay, I'm in. Like I'm in for however long this goes, and we see like who Walt will eventually become. Like that moment in his car where he like we just see like just that guttural excitement is so fucking cool to me. I love that's maybe one of my favorite moments of the show, just in general.
It is a great moment, but he kind of sticks around the scene of an explosion maybe a little bit longer than he should have.
Well, it's the first glimpse too. He gets high on his own supply.
Oh yeah.
Like it's not drugs that he's doing, it's the illegal activity that is giving him something that he hasn't felt before. So he is sitting in his car and it is like he had a game-winning three-pointer at that point. Like he is jacked beyond belief at that point, and you can just see it like running through his body, which is just such a cool moment.
It's all that power and success that he thought he was gonna get when he would try to start that company, Gray Matter, and he felt like he was gonna be the man, and he didn't become the man. Now he feels like the fucking man right now.
Heisenberg's like his Jekyll and Hyde sort of thing that kind of just like lets his ego just like run free.
He's putting on the cape. Like he is something like he doesn't know he doesn't know why it feels good, but he wants to, which ties exactly into the next episode, which we'll just go into. He's getting horny at the parents' meeting, which is really just an awkward situation altogether, but he is getting all like jacked up and stuff, like, and he basically goes and bangs in the car, basically, and they like do this awkward like time with him too. Like Walt's sitting there, it's like he's on medical leave, but he's here with us today. And Walt's like,
he hearing about how he ruined Hugo's life is getting him all hot and bothered.
Yeah, he's like, I'm trying to bang my wife right now. They go to the car and they're banging, and he goes, "What got into you?" Because it's illegal, and it's like, oh, okay. That's interesting. Jesse's selling his house. He thinks the place is haunted because they flushed down people down his toilet. He's like, I can't even take a shit in there anymore.
Yo, it's appointment only.
Him showing the house with the hole in the tub. Like, yeah, it's a fixer-upper.
Yeah, like, well, this place fixer-upper. No. Heisenberg. He shows up. Basically gives Jesse his 35,000, basically your share plus the 15, and which is like a glimpse, like, but he's like, wait a minute, you talked to Tuco, and he's like having the conversation, like, what the fuck, you're accepting this deal? He's like, yeah, Like, we gotta cook a pound. He's like, do you understand? Like, it's where Walt doesn't understand what goes into cooking meth.
Mhm.
Like, he's like, you know how many Sudafed pills like I'm gonna have to need and like do and stuff? Like, that's not easy, like by any means. Which I thought was really interesting because it's like Walt knows how to be a chemist, but he doesn't know how to be like he doesn't know the inner workings of it. Like, he'll know how to put it together. So they end up showing up short to Tuco. Tuco, he's only got like what, half a pound of thing?
A little bit
like,
less than half a pound,
little half a pound. So he's like, what the fuck? He's like, do not show up. And he's like, I need the money. Like, give me the money. Like, he still says it. He's like, chucks it at him. He's like, 2 pounds, blah, blah. How about 4? Well, I don't know what you think you're doing here, but you couldn't meet 1, so you added 2. Now you're adding like what? So they get that. They agree to 4. He's like, do you understand? Basically, he says the thing like Walt plans to make meth without the Sudafed, like without the pills, like sinus pills. Like, he's gonna just do it with methylene or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Cut to the baby shower. Baby shower. Walt does a good speech, kind of just like not the greatest scene from this episode. Like, it's fine. I hate Skylar, so she's pregnant. I don't care. But Marie gives her this like expensive tiara for a fucking newborn, which is just weird. I think Hank and Walt have like one of the greatest moments of the season is that smoking cigar scene out of the thing. Like, so this is illegal. So where do you like draw the line? Like this cocaine, heroin, like, what's the limit? Like, why is one thing okay and the other's like not, and stuff like that? Is like, you haven't seen what I've seen, Walt. Like, you're not the bad guy. Like, in this situation, like, you don't know. Like, you don't know how to do. You don't know about illegal stuff, which I think is just like such like. Okay,
Hank
buddy.
can have Cuban cigars, but Hugo can't have one joint.
Yeah,
I don't know.
just Hugo. So Walt's got to cook. Walt's got to take things and cook. So what he's decided to tell Skylar that he's going to this Navajo sweat lab like place for a couple days to help you breathe better and like open up your things. So he's gone. So he leaves and things. They end up. He ends up showing up. They have everything. Which, sorry, if you bet me like actual money that Jesse would be able to find any of the shit that Walt needed him to find, fuck you. It's not happening. He couldn't like agree to find like a bucket at one point, and he found tubing and heating tubes and electric infused, all this bullshit, all the things.
You gotta go Home Depot.
Yeah, just went to the local Home Depot.
He just pulled out his list and like, hey, you got this thing right here?
That kind of looks like a meth lab. Let's see, aisle 7.
I'm not saying this is a plot hole, but if somebody can help me know why he had that many Etch-a-Sketches.
Well, I'm sure they had to go and get the Etch-a-Sketches.
That's a lot.
He had the one, and that's where he got the idea.
Yeah, I know, but they're
I'm sure
all
Target's got like 50 Etch-a-Sketches that you can go buy.
Yeah, they're not a very premium item, I don't know if you got kids. I don't know if they're really jonesing for those etches.
Well, thank you for saying they're not premium items. So then, guess what? Stores won't stock them on the fucking shelves if they're not.
Maybe it was like an Amazon next day 50 Etch-a-Sketch delivery.
2008, buddy. Yeah, okay. Where Amazon was, and I only think 2-day was a thing. They end up finding that thing and like, oh, yeah, this could melt through a lock. Like, we have all these Etch-a-Sketches. Because they plan to go steal the material themselves. They're going to just go steal the methanol and call it a day. In the meantime, Skylar is going to go return the tiara and take cash because this is a newborn. which is the most logical thing. That if somebody gave me a $500 thing for a newborn, it's going back to the store tomorrow, and I'm accepting the cash because, like, I'll just buy her formula or fucking diapers or anything with it. Doesn't need a fucking tiara. My husband has cancer, and he's having to pay money, and you're giving the tiara. She almost goes to jail. Marie stole the bitch, stole the thing. So Skylar fakes pregnancy to get out of the situation. Then calls Marie. Marie's ignoring the calls. She declines that she did it. I didn't steal. No clue. Lying bitch. Definitely stole. They end up be able to steal the methanol in like the most like Three Stooges way possible. Guy takes a shit. They rope him in the thing. They open the door. The alarm goes off, which I guess there's only one guy working. Fine. Even though there's a guy on the radio that's talking to him, and he doesn't radio at all. He just tries to fight through the wire. And then
he left the radio in the cart.
Oh, thank you for the plot hole. You're right. Jesse and him just scurry down the open, fully lit thing with the methanol.
Even though it isn't a episode we haven't gotten to, it is a barrel, so
Yes.
it rolls.
It does actively roll. So interesting that they did that, and they didn't take the golf cart to just drive the thing.
He had the key in the porta potty with him.
Oh, he took the porta potty left Milwaukee. Makes sense. Checks out. Even though the lights were still on the thing, I think at the time, but whatever. I think it was really interesting because this Skylar and Walt kind of have a talk at the very end of the episode, where it's like, she stole. Can you believe that? Like, blah blah. And he said, "What would you do if this was me? Would you divorce me? Would you turn me in?" And she's like, "You wouldn't. You don't want to find out." Like jokingly, but doesn't realize she's sitting next to the future kingpin of the methamphetamine ring. He meets with Tuco. He's got 4.6 pounds of it. He cooked up plenty. It's blue. First time we get to see the blue. He's like, blue, purple, pink, whatever the color. Like, he's just excited. Then, high on meth, the guy goes, "Remember who you work for." And what do you mean by that?
Wait, you think they're stupid?
You think they're stupid? Is that what you say? You think I'm stupid? You don't think I'm stupid? And then literally beats the fuck out of this guy to the inch of his left, which is a very moment for Jesse and Walt because their jaws just like they are just like, this is not.
That's one of his guys.
That's what he does to somebody that close to him. What would he do to me? And he punches him, and it's one of the best Tuco moments ever. Because like, look at it! Whoa! See you next week. And then the music keys that I've got bad news today, cues in, that song is perfect, on the notes. We have bad news today, and it's like, yeah, I don't know how long this relationship between Tuco and Walt are gonna fit into his plan. I thought it was a great season finale. I think it was an interesting. Oh, I forgot to say they also cook meth during an open house.
I'm sure no one would notice that.
You don't think Jesse, the owner of the house, could just walk up from the basement and be like, "Guys, I don't need anybody here. Please leave."
Just a great moment. Walt's all got his meth suit on, sees the little girl, just not talk about it.
Yeah, crazy. Just a great season finale. Great 7 and 8. I think 7 and 8 in both episodes, leading to the season finale, they did a really good job of pairing together and doing it. Thoughts?
I thought the episode before was a lot better, but this is a great episode too. It doesn't necessarily feel like a season finale. And I think that when this came out, it was cut short due to writer's strike or something like that. That's why it's only 7 episodes.
2008 sounds about right.
Because when you go into the second season, the first 2 or 3 episodes of the second season, you feel like they're kind of putting the close on this. I feel like that would have been more the season finale. But I think that they worked with what they had, and they did a really good job closing it off, and that gives you that sense of dread there at the end. Is like, what have we gotten ourselves into?
I thought it was great. Mark, what do you think?
Yeah, same. I mean, I think like kind of separate. I kind of how I feel, even though it's not quite as good as six. The six is just fantastic, but I think what seven has that I think for like what I didn't really feel so much out of like 4 and 5. Like this episode just feels like it's a lot of fun, just because like them going through the heist and like Skylar has to like fake pregnancy way her out of like getting arrested, like all that stuff I think is kind of neat, and it just kind of ramps up well. And then yeah, we just get those couple like just the couple moments of Tuco is just kind of right where they need to be. It's a really nice spot. I think it actually is a really nice spot to end things off of, just because like it's kind of right where like Walt and Jesse like don't really know kind of what they've really gotten themselves into, and now they've kind of locked themselves into a deal with a psychopath. Like what can go wrong from here on out?
Absolutely. Okay. So what do we give the first season of Breaking Bad? I don't think I'm fair to go first on this.
I,
I think it does a great job of establishing the characters and the world. Again, it's another situation. If this was the first time I was watching it, I'd probably rate it higher. But I know what's coming down the line, so I'd probably give this a 4.
yeah, I mean, this season, I think this season it also kind of I know we'll get to that next season. It does a lot of heavy lifting.
Mhm.
It just because I mean the pilot and those episodes 2 and 3 where like we just see Walt just struggle for 2 episodes on killing a guy. And then we get to the progression of him, blowing up Tuco's hideout. Just nice one. This is kind of where you got to have I think the presence of Bar has to sneak in here for a little bit, because I wish there was like a half notch. Like I'd love if I can give it a
5.
4.25. But I will be fair just because of where I know where I'm at. I'll stick with a 4 out of 5. It's a very good start to the show.
Okay, so I'm not far off. I'm 4.5. I think it's a 4.5 for me. 4.25, sure. I think it does everything it needs to and establishes and gets you ready for next season. I do agree with I agree with Matt that it definitely was filmed in 2007. Writer strike was 2007, 2008. So, like, overall, there were some issues there. But overall, I think it doesn't feel fully like it, but it works so well for me. So, it does work. So, I think it's pretty simple. Breaking Bad season 1 is better than Oz season 1. Are we in agreement with that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So for our next episode, we will go to we will finish. No, we will not. We'll do
Well, do
3
we want
episodes.
to do the episode rankings?
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Is this gonna be hard? No, this will work. So,
Did we just do 6 and 7, or are we gonna wait on 8 till we see the 8th episode of Breaking Bad? Or
that's what I'm seeing. We'll do this. Okay, so 6 episodes, episode 6
Maybe
for
we
it.
could put now and then see if Breaking Bad changes it, if we need to go back, or we can just do 6 and 7
So
now.
basically, what I would believe is 8, kind of like, since it's like the season 1 of the situation. I think the rest of the wire is just going to fit by itself, and then we're just going to have to compare it between like where it's at. Like, I don't know how we do when one has 13 and the only has 7 and 8. It's kind of hard to be like going back to season episode 2, because we're not going to be on the same sideline. So if they match up, then we'll just do them that way. So when we get to the Wire season 1, we'll compare it to the other ones when we get to them. We just will leave Wire in a category by itself because they got a full runtime. And then okay, so 6 Oz 6. Oz is the bottom, like that episode. Overall.
I definitely had Breaking Bad as number 1 for episode 6.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have
Yeah.
to think about it too hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, 100%. That was slam dunk, and then Wire middle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it would be fair because I think Wire 8. That's not going to be Wire 8 versus Oz 8. Well, that's interesting. But we're on 7.
Episode 7. I'm actually putting Oz as the best episode 7 because I think that was the one that had the
I don't
firing
disagree.
squad execution and had Beecher beating up and shitting on Schillinger. I think that was definitely the best episode of their season.
Mark?
I think I agree. I think I will actually give Oz the tops for 7.
That'll be the first time Oz has had the top episode, so we'll give that bone.
I think I would go Oz. Then I think I go Breaking Bad, and I think I go Wire on that one. I think this is be one of the few times I think for me the Wire takes the bottom slot here.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I agree with that ranking. And then Oz 8 versus Wire 8.
Oh, Wire definitely.
I mean, yeah,
Wire.
just
yeah. You got Omar doing the business.
Yeah.
For that one
you
scene
got Bunk
alone,
doing the business.
Do we you need to do kill count real quick. So any kill count thing we need to talk about? Breaking Bad doesn't have any.
Breaking Bad didn't have anything these episodes.
I got one. Yeah.
Who?
Guy that Tuco kills.
Did he kill him? I thought he just beat the crap out of him.
I thought he killed him.
He gets picked up and put into the car. So I don't know if he's dead.
We'll put a 1 with a question mark.
Okay.
Because I think if he was dead, he would just leave him there.
Yeah. The Wire, we had 1 kill in episode 6. We had the stripper death in episode 8, and then the kill in episode 8. So that's 3 kills added to theirs. So I think the Wire's up to 6 kills so far. And then Oz, 7 had 3 deaths, and then 8 had 1 confirmed death. So that brings us up to 11 kills on Oz. So far, Oz is in the lead. But I'm sure that will change as we get into the future seasons.
Got to get those numbers up, Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
Don't worry. I think you won't have an issue. Okay. So next week we will start season 2 of Oz 1, 2, and 3, and season 2 of Breaking Bad 1, 2, and 3. And we'll do 3 episodes of The Wire. The next episode, we will do 2 of that and include season 1, and we will be able to rank it within the season 1's rankings and see, because we're going to compare all seasons as one giant conglomerate. So, and then overall series we'll rank at the very end when we're done. That's been Matt, Mark, and myself. To quote my good friend, The Big Chill, be well.